Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Rory. Fantastic round today.
Thank you.
4 birdies, 2 eagles, 6 straight threes, a Masters record to start with. What an exciting round. Do you want to talk us through a little bit about the round and how you feel?
Yeah, obviously it was a dream start to get off to the start that I did. Hit 2 perfect shots on 1 and converted. Felt like I hit sort of 3 perfect shots on 2, 3 perfect shots on 3. It was such a great way to start, and just to come out of the blocks like that, I think as well, from finishing yesterday afternoon to teeing off today, it's quite a long time, and there's a lot of anticipation and sort of anxious energy that builds up. You just want to get out there and play. So, with all of that, to go out and start the way I did was amazing. And then I, had that little bit of a wobble around the turn there with the bogey on 8, the missed chance on 9, and then the 3 putt on 10. And I thought that the par putt on 11 was huge, just to sort of get some momentum back, and to get through 11 and 12 and even par. Was great, and then all I was trying to do then was take advantage of the par 5s coming in, and thankfully I was able to do that.
Fantastic. Open up to questions. Andy?
Yeah, Rory, I was out there on the course, and a patron next to me said, I want Rory to win so bad. What does it mean to you to just have the crowd behind you the way they are? Yeah,
look, it's amazing to have the support. These patrons and these galleries are a pleasure to play in front of each and every year we come back. They're some of the most knowledgeable, golf patrons or spectators that we play in front of, and look, it's a pleasure to play in front of them and to have that atmosphere and to have that support. And tomorrow when that final group's going to be it's going to be a little rowdy and a little loud, and I'm just going to have to, settle in and, really try to, keep myself in my own little bubble and keep my head down and, sort of approach tomorrow with the same attitude that I've tried to approach the last 3 days with.
Alex.
Rory, if you had to write the headline to your round today, what would it be?
I'm not a headline writer, so I have no idea. I'll let whoever you work for figure that out.
Okay, so then let me go with the second question then, which is when was the last time you were in a pairing like this with someone like a DeChambeau, and having had what happened last year?
I'm not sure. Thankfully, I've got a pretty short memory, so I don't know. I honestly no idea.
Felix.
How much do you even allow yourself to, soak all these emotions and the support in? Is there a fine line between being concentrated and, letting these emotions get to you a little bit?
Absolutely. I think I am quite a sort of momentum player, so I have to, there is a balance though. You have to sort of try to ride that momentum as much as you can, but then also temper it with a little bit of, rationale and logic. And so it's a fine dance, but I certainly don't want to be a robot out there, but at the same time, I don't want to be too animated either.
Krish?
Rory, yesterday Justin said that it's always very difficult to follow up a low round with another one, a 66 and a 66. Can you just like low and then low again? Any thoughts on that?
Not that low. Like, it's not as if it's 62 or 63. I mean, they're very, very good scores. But yeah, I mean, I think when you're playing well and you've got 4 par 5s to take advantage of, those are the sort of scores that are out there.
Sorry, Daniel.
Rory, congratulations on your round today. You've obviously been in this position before. I wonder if you can remember how you spent your Saturday night in 2011 and how you might do it differently this time around.
that was 14 years ago. I have no idea. Again, I'm glad I have a short memory.
How will you plan on preparing for your final round, and what will you do tonight?
I'll have some dinner. Maybe try to make it through the second episode of the third season of Bridgerton. Fell asleep during episode 1 last night. And that's it. Just, sort of put the phone away, don't look at it, and try not to look at it until tomorrow night.
Marty.
Similar. You did mention the bubble you want to live in tomorrow, given the energy that will be around you all day. But tonight, what will be your process to make sure that you stay in the moment and not let your mind wander to your master's dreams?
Yeah, I think I still have to remind myself that there's a long way to go. Just like I said yesterday, 18 holes. Just as much as anyone else know what can happen on the final day here. So, I've got a lot of experience. I came in here talking about being the most complete version of myself as a golfer, and I just have to keep reminding myself of that, and remind myself that no matter what situation or scenario I find myself in tomorrow, I'll be able to handle it.
Jim?
Hey, Rory. Following up on that, are there specific mechanisms that you use to try and stay in the bubble?
Yeah, I mean, there's, I've a few little notes written in the back of my yardage book that I, glance at every now and again while I'm walking the fairway, and, just little reminders, little, 1 or 2 sentence things. And yeah, that's really it.
Do you mind saying what they are?
I mean, all the cliche mantras that you've heard before, really.
John?
Rory, maybe you didn't envision 6 straight threes, but the drives on 1 and 2, did you come out with an aggressive purposefulness today?
Yeah, I was fast on the range. That's what I'm talking about, even like that anxious energy that built up. I was probably 3 or 4 miles an hour faster on the range than I have been all week, which is nice. So I knew I didn't have to worry about the bunker on 1 or on 2 if I, just made a good swing. So it wasn't really about being aggressive. It was just, it was making good, committed swings, and knowing that if I did that, I could set myself up on, those first few holes.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, Rory, the message from Bob after Thursday was, not to go chasing on Friday morning. Was there a message?
That was my message to him, actually. I actually said that to him. Yeah, look, the message going into today was just keep doing the same thing. We've had the chats, we've had the, there's nothing new here. It's, go out there, and, I've talked about trying to, chase a feeling out there. If I can have that feeling, and if I can go home tonight and look in the mirror before I go to bed and be like, that's the way I want to feel when I play golf, then that's, to me, is a victory.
Last 2 questions. Michael?
Yeah, Rory, I'm just wondering, did what happened Thursday help you at all mentally today? Sort of like something lousy already happened and I got my way through it, and I kind of calm you at all?
No. I mean, it's gone. It's 2 days ago. You can't do anything about it, and I don't feel like it. I didn't even think about it, so I guess that's a good thing.
Claire.
2-part question. 1, how's your book going? And 2, with a late tee time tomorrow, what will the first half of your day look like before you come to the course?
Yeah, book is going okay. I'm probably only on like chapter 6. These are busy weeks, and by the time I get home and get dinner and shower, it's like, again, it's either a toss-up between a show or a book, and I think right now I'd just rather watch the show. And then this morning, I'm sure it'll be a similar tee time, tomorrow as it was today. So I watched a little bit of Premier League football this morning. And then I actually watched Zootopia with Poppy. very good movie if anyone's interested. And then by that time, I try to get to the golf course 3.5 hours before I play, and then I feel like those 3 hours when I get here go pretty quick, from locker room up to the gym, warm up, back here, back in the locker room, food, shower, get ready, go to the range. Like, I feel like that 3 hours goes really, really quickly. So it's just that, trying to fill that time between sort of 7 and 10:30 before heading to the golf course. And, thankfully there's some good options, but, I think the one thing I've tried to do a good job of this week is just not being on the phone and just trying to stay clear of that and do other things.
Thank you very much, Rory. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks.